Hello everyone, this is Professor Raghvendra Adhyapak, KLS Kokte College of Commerce, Belagavi. So in today's class, we are going to start with next unit, that is unit number 3, location of a firm. So already we completed with the unit number 4, and now we will start with the unit 3, that is location of firm. Okay, so what is location of the firm? Location of the firm is the place where a firm decides to run its business or operation activities. Location of the firm is one of the important aspect which affects on cost and revenue of the firm. So firm should locate in such a place where all the necessities like power, water, labor, infrastructure, etc. are available easily and economically. Okay, so basically, this chapter is about where a company or a firm should start. Okay, so which kind of location or a place should be selected? So, regarding that, this chapter deals. Okay, so it says that location should be in such a manner where all the necessary aspects for a production and running the business should available easily. Okay, so in such place, a industry or a firm should start. Okay, next, basic principles of locating the firm. Okay, so there are certain basic principles which we follow before locating or selecting any place for a business. Okay, first one is transportation cost. Okay, that is matters very lot, because if the transportation cost increases, the price of a product will also increase. Correct. So for that, the transportation cost affects on the price of the product. Okay, so the place of an industry or a firm should be in such a place where the transportation cost should reduce, means to bring the raw materials to the factory as well as sending the final goods to the market. Both transportation should cost be economically. Okay, next is nearness to market. Yes, the place of the industry should be in such a place where it is near to market, by which your finished goods easily move to market. Next is cost of labor. Okay, so in case of labor, there is three types of labors, that is semi-skilled, unskilled, and skilled labors. Correct. So all three kinds of labors are required to run any business. So all three are available in a cheap price, we can say that in a economical price. Okay, next is cost of land. Okay, land is a place where the company, factory establishment take place. Okay, the land may be purchased land, or maybe it is a rented land, but it should be economically. Okay, next is power and water supply. Yes, these are the two main necessities to run any firm. Correct. So for every machineries to work in the factory, the power is required, and the water is also required for the regular working condition of the factory. So these both should be available properly. Next is good infrastructure facilities. So infrastructure facilities like transportation, communication, so other banking facilities. So these are also required to run a business. Correct. So these should be available in a easy manner. Next is supply of raw materials. Okay, raw materials are the basic things which we convert to a finished goods. Correct. So if there is raw material supply is abundant, then we can establish industry in such place. Correct, by which we can easily produce. And if the supply of raw materials is abundant and smooth, even the business flow will goes smoothly. Next is selecting an industrial location. Okay, which kind of location should be selected? It says that decision regarding selection of industrial location is a very important decision on which entire business operation of the firm depends. Okay, it is not a easy task. Before selecting any location, in-depth study is required to fix any location, because a small mistake in such decisions may lead to huge loss to the firm. So While selecting an industrial location, firms should inspect different aspects like availability of the requirements like labor, power supply, water supply, transportation, infrastructure, etc., by which firm can select a most suitable industrial location. Next is factors affecting location of an industrial unit. Okay, so the factors which are effects on selecting an industrial location, that will be classified into two categories. One is primary factors, second one is secondary factors. First we will see what are the primary factors effects on an industrial location. First one is availability of raw materials. Yes, in the basic principles I already told that the raw material is a very important aspect to run any firm, correct? So the abundant supply of the raw materials are necessary to smooth function of any company, correct? So for that, availability of raw material is a primary or important factor for the industrial location. Okay, next is availability of power and fuel. Yes, the powers are required to run a different machineries. Okay, so in entire building, factory building, the power is required, correct? So that should be available. Availability of transportation and communication facilities. Yes, it should be a very fast transport and communication in kind of perishable goods and all. If you, how much as possible you should reach to market very early, correct? So capture the market. Speed movement of the finished goods is required, as well as raw materials easy movement should be required with the help of transportation, correct? That should be available in very easy manner. Yes, availability of the labor, so I already told that unskilled, semi-skilled and skilled labor are required to a firm to run the business, correct? So all the three kinds of labor should available easily and economically in a cheaper rate. Okay, next is nearness to market. So whatever the goods you are producing, it should be able to reach the market in a very short period of time, by which you can sell those product easily. Next is secondary factors. So those are the primary factors which affects on industrial location. Now we will see what are the secondary factors which affects on the industrial location. First one is nearness to adequate banking and credit facilities. Okay, so to run any business or a firm, the finance is the very important aspect. For every now and then we have to make the payments for raw materials and labors and all. The payment should be required. To make the payment, adequate cash or a finance is required. To provide that finance, the banking and credit facility should be available. Next is facilities of the repairs, correct? So when in a factory building the different machineries and vehicles are using, in that case if something damage is taken place, to repair that, the repair facility should be available. Next, firefighting facilities. Okay, when a big industries or a firms are established, there is a chances of fire damages, correct? So in that cases firefighting facilities should be required. Next is soil, climate and topography of a place. Okay, soil, climate or a geographical condition is also effect on the industrial location. For example, if it is a tea processing industry, that will be, we can see in the some cool places, correct? In Assam tea, so maximum the industries which are related to tea, that will be established in Assam because of the availability of that product, correct? Next is government policies and regulations. Okay, to run any business there is certain rules and regulations and certain policies are there, that is imposed by the government, that should be followed by every industries. Okay, so such government policies and the regulations will also affect on the business. Next is momentum of an early start. Okay, so momentum of early start is nothing but when a new industry take place in particular location, then they take the more and more advantage. For example, in a open space areas, one automobile industry started. Once that gets started, if getting more and more profit, then other will also shift to do that place and start producing automobile parts, correct? So like that, one by one, that entire area get developed. Like that, one who take the early movements or first step, they will get some benefit. Okay, next is possibilities of future expansion. Okay, once business is established in a particular location, and once it reached to a particular level, if beyond that level, if they wanted to production, they wanted to expansion, in that case there should be a proper facilities in case of expansion also. Like there should be a some other space by which again they can extend their building or their production unit, etc., should be available. Okay, next is existence of competitive industries. Okay, in every industries there should be a competitors by which the price will be in a stable manner. If they become monopoly, then no one will be ask or question their price of the product. If there are competitors, then they will think twice before raising the price of their products. So for healthy competition, there should be a competitors. Okay.